Hello and welcome to another update video about Fantom. Yeah, Fantom is finally getting close to the lower support of my target area that we defined already in the beginning of January. I think there was even a video in December we talked about it. And what I really like to do, because there are a lot of new viewers, just to show you what I said on the 10th of January, just to show you that TA works, that TA can work, that the Elliott wave method works. That is what I try to preach on this channel, that if applied correctly, if the waves are detected correctly, if the waves are counted correctly, there is no other method in the world that can give you such an accurate forecast of prices. I don't know anyone else who talked end of December or beginning of January about a 55-cent Fantom. I warned everybody, prices are going to go lower for Fantom, and we are now there. We reached the target area already a few weeks ago, and we're now getting close to the to one of the ideal target levels for Fantom. It's always funny to scroll through some of the comments from these videos when the sentiment was completely different. And what I try to just show you, I'm not trying to show you these comments, you can go and read them yourself, but how the sentiment shifts. I mean, back then everybody was like, don't listen to technicals, are you crazy, 55 cent never gonna happen, 80 cent never gonna happen, you crazy. Just hodl. Yeah, but hodling at $3 was a pretty bad idea. So let's take a look. But I do expect also with a very high probability the price to drop further into this area down here, which is sitting, we're taking the fib levels from the other way around, the low of that wave to the top, just crudely drawn here at the moment. There you go. We would expect the price to land in the wave C in this area here between the 0.887 fib level at 55 cents all the way to the low of the wave A, because the wave C always is below the wave A. So we start here and go all the way down to the 0.887 fib level. That's pretty much the 90% retracement that altcoins typically see. And this could sit then between 55 cents and 115. Yeah. So at the moment there is no reason to panic. That is what I tried to communicate as well in the previous video, but I'm getting a bit concerned, and everybody needs to understand that, because Fantom is dropping quite a lot compared to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin now starts its correction down, Fantom will have a difficult time, but Harmony 1, for example, as well. They are sort of correlated. They move in very, very similar waves. It's just important to understand that. I do expect here shortly a move up for Bitcoin. When that happens, I guess Fantom could have a good time, because Fantom is now quite oversold. But yeah, you can see this played out perfectly. By the way, we talked about these price levels not when we started the downtrend. We already talked about them when we were still in the uptrend here, and we defined the uptrend window. Some of my sell orders were triggered here, and it's just fantastic. And I warned people that we are going to go into these levels. And again, it's up to you what you did with that warning. I know a lot of people didn't do anything, and I understand that, because you don't just want to listen to a YouTuber, but hopefully over time, and this is sort of a long-term thing, isn't it? Hopefully over time you can see that the Elliott method works, and that if applied correctly, and I'm also not always right. Yeah, if I get the waves wrong, of course there will be a wrong outcome. Happy to talk about that when it happens. So far, I think it's been working very well. The only instances I think where it's been really wrong, but you could argue it wasn't wrong, it was just not bearish enough, was ADA, where we talked about prices all the way down to $1.25 already back in September, October, but then that obviously didn't happen. It dropped even lower. Yeah, and so far the only other crypto where it hasn't worked out yet, but I wouldn't say it's wrong because it just hasn't worked out yet, which is still waiting for those target areas to be reached, is Polkadot, which is getting close to its target area now, and Bitcoin, which is still sort of hovering fairly high compared to many of the altcoins. But again, if every other coin, with the exception of Bitcoin, reaches the target area, I'm happy. I'm happy. That's fine as well. It's pretty good, with all these coins that I cover, that they all reach the target areas that we defined. And however, they now need to turn around. Yeah, Fantom as well. So Fantom is getting into the area here to 54 cents now, very close. Obviously, it reached already that wave A low from December here back. It reached it in March 2020. That was the first time it really reached that target area. That was the only reason I had the target area here for Fantom, not down here, which is the 78.6% Fibonacci level, which is actually the ideal target, is because it was so high, it made such a high wave B. And what you want to see is like the minimum in such a correction is to get to the low of the wave A. Now I'm going to shrink that down now because that has been reached anyway. We're now exactly in this area where between these two Fibonacci levels, the 88.7% level and the 78.6. This is the ideal level for a reversal. Now there is another way of doing this. It doesn't really change the picture much, but it gives Fantom a little bit more space, looks a little bit less concerning. And that is if we start the fibs from down here, pretty much at 0. It doesn't make a great difference if I started here or here. So if we pretty much start at 0, then we can move this target area a little bit lower. And I think this would be, it would be a little bit, it would make a bit more sense because also we had support down here. So this gives Fantom a little bit more space, makes it look a little bit less scary, because it can give Fantom more space all the way down to 4 cents, which is still from where we currently are another 42% drop, which means if we drop below that fib level, then it can get a bit tricky for Fantom, but it still has space. And what happens if we drop below the 88.7? So just from experience, it either takes much longer. So if it doesn't matter if you drop below it briefly, but if you stay a long time below the 88.7% Fibonacci level, then it's typically for stocks and shares as well, and for cryptos, it can either mean that they die or that they take much longer to recover. Now, if that's going to happen, I don't know, and I'm not going to tell you that Fantom is going to die. I like the project, and I know that many people say that this last drop happened because of this and that. I know what happened, but we talked about these levels already back in January. News and events like that, they can certainly be a catalyst for something that would have happened anyway. They are the catalyst for the natural waves that do happen anyway in every market. You know, there's no reason to say, right, the price drop now happened only because of that thingy that happened there with Fantom and the $50 million or whatever it was. It didn't only happen because of that. It might have been the catalyst. Yeah, it might have been the catalyst, but every other altcoin that I cover, with the exception of Polkadot, is sort of or has seen this area. Why on earth would Fantom be the only one that wouldn't get into the area naturally anyway? So it would have gotten there anyway. It might have taken a bit longer, but yeah. So my view is there is no reason to panic. I still let my last buy order trigger. I think it hasn't triggered yet. I wait for it. I hold through it. It only has a smaller percentage in my portfolio anyway. I said to you before, I don't know if Fantom will still exist in 5 years, but it's very volatile. It's attractive as a swing trading opportunity, and I don't think that Fantom will go to 0 from here. I think it will get a recovery. The thing is just that we need to be aware of these 88.7% Fibonacci levels, and if we lose them, then that could be it. But Fantom has dropped so much now, it's massively oversold as well. But it's getting, of course, the lower we go, the more risky it gets to a degree. But on the other hand, it is not like we did not expect these price levels on this channel. We even have more space to 54 cents, which is the lower level that I gave you back in January, and we're not there yet. We're currently at 70 cents. Could even find some support here. Why some support? Well, if we zoom in, no, actually that would be a bit lower, wouldn't it? So here at 61 cents, that's that previous swing high. We had a lot of support here. Yeah, so this is where we could find some support. And if Fantom gets out of this, this could be good. Yeah, this could really push Fantom again to potentially $1.13 for a retest. Or here we've got a descending trend line that is currently, let's say, if we moved up like that here, we could maybe get to $1 again. Personally, I don't think we have seen the low yet, but there is still a bit of space. Yeah, so I communicated yesterday to the Telegram members which coins I'm concerned about. I said I'm a bit concerned about Fantom, but I'm more concerned, for example, about Blocktopia, IOTA, and XRP at the moment. Fantom is still looking okayish, but of course I need to raise concerns, right? I need to make you aware that we're getting here quite strongly down. You know, we're getting down quite strongly, and if Fantom now can't recover, there's a severe risk that we get to 40 cents anyway. Which would be the last exit on the motorway. I mentioned that in the Cardano video as well. that would really be the last exit, where it needs to exit and turn around. If it drops below that, yeah, of course there are lower support levels, like here 17 cents, but we've then dropped below the 88.7% fib level, which isn't good from a chart point of view and from a recovery point of view. But overall, as I said, I let my buy orders trigger. I've got them for a reason. I won't. That's the problem when you get into these levels here. Even I, of course, you know, you feel the fear a little bit. But that is why I defined those limit orders before. I let them trigger, and in the worst case, I have to take that loss. But I don't think it's going to happen for Fantom. You know, otherwise I wouldn't buy. But that belongs to investing, isn't it? That is sort of part of the game, that we have to accept that some of these can even at some point go to levels where it is getting quite scary. But it's just happening what we said would happen anyway. So nothing unexpected. The only thing is it drops a bit faster now than expected. That's the only thing. But again, there was a catalyst for it. Overall, on the daily, we can still see that downtrend continue at the moment. Yeah, there is no sign of reversal yet. On the 4 hour, maybe looks like it's starting to slow down a bit. The 4 hour RSI significantly oversold. I mean, it came down to 13. I think it's the lowest it's ever been, to be honest. So it's just something to be aware of. So on the one hand, it's also an opportunity. Now, I'm not going to tell you to buy or anything, but my limit orders are triggering at the moment, left, right, and center for many coins, and happy to do it. You know, even though it seems quite risky, but that is what happens when you finally get to these buy orders. And should we now go up, everybody will be happy. And you know, if we had we not come to these lower areas, I know that some channel members would have asked me, well, my last buy order didn't trigger, what do I do now? So let's see. It's part of the game. We need to be able to mentally also withstand those price drops as investor, as trader. All right, so hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. If you really like the content, check out the channel membership and maybe check out the trading course on my website that I'm currently publishing. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.